Hello, Internet. It is Friday, and you made it. I'm so proud of you. I am so glad everyone could join me. We have a ton going on. I haven't talked to you in a long time, and I guess she's not interested tonight. No Scarlett tonight. She's not going to come up and say hi. We have a ton of California shenanigans to get into, so that's what I'm going to be talking about for the most part. But we do have all that, impeachment stuff to talk about, which probably won't happen. But there she is. I guess she was just feeling a little sluggish tonight. But let's say hi to Scarlett first. You know how we go. All right, come on. Let's say hi to everyone. You want to say hi? Okay. You feeling needy? You feeling needy tonight? All right. Okay. You go lay down now? You go lay down now? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Scarlett. Go lay down. Lay down right now. Lay down right now. Okay, good dog. All right. Hopefully she'll just hang out for the night. How is everyone this evening? I hope everybody's having a fantastic start to their weekend. I hope everybody had a good week. The week didn't kill them. Let's see. Let's go over and check out the chat. Make sure we're live on Rumble. All that good stuff. I don't even know if we're live on X. I hate calling it that. I hate calling it that so much, but I guess I'm going to have to get used to it. If you go to certain pages on X, it still shows the old Twitter logo. Just saying. Just saying, Elon. Still shows it there. And it's still twitter.com. I mean, you can call it X all you want, but it's still twitter.com. All right. Looks like I'm live over there too. Should be live on YouTube. I think I am. All right. Well, yeah. I think we're good to go. Okay. Well, let's just jump right into stuff. California just gets a little bit more out of control every week, it seems. The crime is out of control. Doesn't even cut it. That doesn't even do it justice. What up, Wally World? How we doing? Broad daylight, right in front of cops, all sorts of stuff. Home invasions, car break-ins, businesses being broken into, assaults happening all over the place, left and right. And it seems the police are powerless to stop it for a multitude of reasons. But let's see, which one do I want to talk about first? So let's just show this one really quick. Just a quick one. I just put out a post this morning of this video. This is from AB7 Eyewitness News. I'll just play the video really quick. Let's go to it. I think you can see this here. Uh-oh. Oh, there is no audio on this one. So it's just, looks like, this is a head shop. Look, she got bongs and stuff in the background. So some dude broke into a head shop. This lady's just working there. He's trying to rob the place. She's trying to stop him. She's got an awesome little golden doodle that's trying to save her. And boom, full on punches her in the face. So, and she's bleeding all over the place. Looks like he had something in his hand when he punched her. So she's pretty messed up. Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that's that happened, and it's not so much the video. Granted, it's obviously horrible. It's the horrible thing, but it's the regularity of this kind of stuff that's happening. So I just said good men will be going to prison soon because law enforcement refuses to deal with these evil men. Good men will be forced to deal with bad men because that's what good men do. If police don't want to deal with the bad guys, are they really the good guys? If California police aren't going to police, what's the point of them? Give us the legal ability to defend ourselves with whatever force we deem necessary and get out of the way. Police are there to protect the wealthy, and politicians, they leave the rest of us to fend for ourselves. Nobody's coming to save you, especially in the Bay Area. So my argument is this crime is so far out of control and normal now that citizens are essentially sitting ducks. And this person, I would argue, has already been locked up and let out. And the police can't stop these crimes, and they can't keep these criminals off the streets from doing this again. So if you're going to do this, if you're going to essentially legalize vicious behavior, you have to give us the right to that woman should be allowed to just point a gun at that guy and say, look, if you don't leave, I'm shooting you. You know, I'm not going to shoot to kill you. I won't shoot you in the face, but I'm going to shoot you center mass. Like, that should be allowed. Like, at what point are we allowed to defend our property with potentially lethal force? We're just sitting ducks at this point. Cops aren't going to do anything. So give us the means to defend ourselves, because this ain't right anymore. So that's kind of my argument there. Sure, yeah, it's a arguable point. It's just my stance. You can disagree with me all you want. I have another example of that, though. So, I mean, that's just one example. One example of the rampant crime. This is just all day, every day in San Francisco, Oakland, and surrounding parts of the Bay Area. I will close that one, but there's another quick one. It was just a car break-in. It's just regular car break-in, you know, nothing out of the ordinary, but those have become normalized too. It's just the amount of stuff that's become normal and sort of accepted is it's sort of like it goes to show the state of the world right now. It's normal to see people hunched over, half dead on the streets of San Francisco. It's normal to walk by and see their flesh rotting off of them. That's normal. It's normal to see people openly doing drugs on the streets. That's normal. It's normal to see entire sidewalks from block to block filled with tents. It's normal to see these things catch on fire. It's normal to see them tap into electrical poles for power. All this stuff's been normalized. Anywho, I got one more. Let's go over to this car break-ins. Car break-ins in broad daylight have been normalized. Just normal to see it. Wally World, the police go after law-abiding citizens because they know we won't attack them. Yeah. The easy tickets. They also know that we'll pay the ticket. You know, like the people that they know are going to comply and not give them too much of a hassle. Those are the ones that cops are going to go after and, you know, get their ticket quota or whatever. Meanwhile, these guys over here, like this video, this is broad daylight. So.
Where are they?
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do?
Seriously?
Yo, get the fuck out of my neighborhood!
You want to block them in? I mean, they'll probably just run into them.
Out of state plates, looks like New Mexico. It's probably a stolen car anyway. But my argument is, you know, if that's my vehicle that's getting broken into, and I walk out, I catch these guys in the middle of the act. It should be legal to draw your weapon and open fire on these guys if, you know, you are doing it in a responsible way. You know what's behind your target. You're going to take an angle where what's right behind them is a wall, or, you know, you're going to be up close enough to where you know all your rounds are going to be on target, or also, you know, your rounds aren't going to penetrate its target. It's going to stop right there. So my argument is if you catch somebody stealing your property, you should be able to use lethal force. I absolutely believe that. And if that was the case, lethal force would very seldom need to be used. And that's what I said here. So a lot of people would argue that lethal force should not be allowed when defending one's property. I would argue the opposite. If lethal force is allowed when defending one's property, then lethal force will seldomly be necessary to defend one's property. Word gets around pretty quick with this sort of thing. F around and find out should be the law of the land, especially in a land that has no laws like San Francisco. it's just San Francisco is a freaking hellhole right now. All right, let's continue with San Francisco. Actually, I'm not even. Was that yeah, that was San Francisco. Thought it might have been Oakland. Scarlett, stop now. Jeez, she's being a psycho. I'm sorry about that. Oh, Scarlett. All right, enough of that one. Plenty more to get into about California. And one of these videos, yeah, this one, I kind of got to give you a trigger warning on this one. If you guys get queasy easily, you might not want to watch this. Let me jump over and check the Rumble chat really quick here. Angira's Gift. Sup, bitches? Northside, what's going on? Pete Grabber. Pete Grabber, how come this combination of perp and victim is never a hate crime or elderly abuse? It's a good question. It's an excellent question. Well, I mean, we're seeing a lot of black men attacking Asian people. We're seeing a lot of it, and I'm not doing anything other than pointing out that we happen to be seeing a lot of it. I don't know if this is a statistical anomaly, but it seems to be a regular occurrence. I'm not implying anything other than what I'm observing. So make of that what you will. All right, you guys, just be fair warned on this next one. I'm going to go over to my San Francisco folder here. This one's kind of gross. It's a really quick, gross image, but it's gross nonetheless. So just fair warning, people. We're going to hop over to Ricky Wine over here on the Twitters, on X. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to dead name your platform, Elon. All right. Okay, people. Just be forewarned here. This is going to be gross. He's going to be gross. I promise you that. Okay, so before I even start playing this video, I want to show the things that have been normalized in this video right off the bat. So you've got a homeless person that's just, in rags, in a wheelchair, in the middle of the sidewalk, in the middle of the day, right in front of businesses. So just that's normalized. The homeless person right in front of businesses in the middle of the day in the sidewalk. That's clearly a crack pipe. Mm-hmm. They're smoking crack right in the middle of the sidewalk, and this is like downtown San Francisco. This is okay. Let me play the video for you guys. I'll go full screen here. Yeah, let me play the video for you guys. And again, just be warned. This is a little gross. Little bit gross.
Savior, heaven sent.
Yeah. I just worried about his leg, though.
Well, can you imagine the pain, man?
I mean, yeah, I could imagine the pain, brother. But I mean, if you just keep using drugs, you're just numbing it. You're not fixing the symptoms. You're not fixing the symptoms.
Okay. Sorry, guys, but that's a regular.
That leg needs to be treated.
That's his. Holy crap. That's his sock that's in there. That's cutting off. Oh, my God. That's what's going on right there. That's his sock. That's a piece of fabric that's cutting off, like his leg's so swollen, but this little thin layer of fabric is like, oh, this is horrible. That's like the leftover of a sock. This is what they call humane. This is what they call compassion.
Needs to be treated long term, and if you stay out here on the streets, man, it's not gonna get no better, bud. Yeah. You have to choose to go to treatment. You got to choose to get right, brother. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you guys. I'm gonna pray for you guys, man. I hope you really get right.
Man, I don't even know what to say to that. You see that on so many people too, like flesh rotting on so many. I don't know what percentage of the homeless people that it's happening to, but it's a lot. It is a lot. It's so bad. All right, I just showed you this video. There's at least this happened up in Pacific Heights. There was this massive sinkhole. You guys see this? This is what happens when a water main breaks underground. People don't notice it for a while. So won't be any driving in this intersection for a while. And it looks like look, it all flowed downhill. All the mud gathered down here. Man, what a mess. All right. Well, nobody cares about a sinkhole, especially in Pacific Heights. You're rich bastards. All right, you guys. Hero or villain? What do you guys say? This gentleman, people are sick of these things. All right. So those of you who may not understand what's happening here, this is a cruise car. This is one of these autonomous vehicles that drives around, and they've been testing these things in San Francisco forever. They've been driving around. They got these cameras and sensors all over them. They're a nuisance. They are a nuisance to say the least. They cause traffic jams. They're just annoying. If you put a cone on their hood, they don't know what to do. They freak out. So if you're ever visiting San Francisco, tourists, and you see one of these things and you happen to see a cone standing right next to it, put it on the hood. I'm not instructing anybody to commit a crime there, but I'm just saying if you put a cone on the hood, apparently these cars don't know what to do. But people are sick of these things, and this guy's just going to town on one with a hammer. So let's watch this gentleman get his rage out. It really makes you realize how susceptible to anything these cars are too. Like you take out one sensor and it's got a serious blind spot now. I mean, yeah, I see people taking these things out a lot in the future. It's funny. Well, it's a black-clad individual. Could it be Antifa? Could it be the Antifers? I don't even care if it is. That's funny. That is funny what they're doing there. Okay, what else we got? I think that might be all we got for California. Nope, that's all we got for San Francisco, I should say. So, yeah, let's stop sharing that one because I got to jump over across to the bay because there's a few things I want to talk about with Oakland. The level of incompetency coming out of that city is impressive. It is impressive. Some things boggle my mind. Like, how is this even possible? So over in Oakland, they had California offered cities money to clean up their retail theft problem that they're having. Oops. That was the wrong one. Sorry there, folks. Oh, no, that was the right one. That was the right one. My apologies. And, so San Francisco got 17 million. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, San Francisco got 17 million. San Jose got a bunch of money, but Oakland, in their infinite wisdom, they failed to file the application on time for the money, for the funds. Just failed to turn in the application. And Oakland is just as bad as San Francisco. I don't know about so much with the retail theft, just because there isn't the type of stores in Oakland that there is in San Francisco. But the crime in Oakland is out of hand, out of control. I mean, this home invasion right here. So, man shot and killed in home invasion near 11th and Pine in Lower Bottoms neighborhood in West Oakland. This is happening all the time. Home invasions are happening all the time now. 3 people died in 6 shootings in Oakland over the weekend. That's from September 11th. This video right here, this 2 dudes with ARs sneaking up on, well, I don't know if they both have ARs, but one has a rifle, one has a handgun. Yeah. And they opened fire back, the clerk, on these guys. This is just, Oakland is out of control. There's every night you see craziness, but their mayor didn't file the application for this funding. I mean, Granted, this is going to be a serious misallocation of resources and all that. We know how California squanders money. We know how Oakland would squander this money. We know how this stuff gets wasted super easily. But that's not the point. The point is that they didn't even try. They failed to apply for the freaking money, the grant money. Like, this is just, it's free money for you, Oakland. There's a reason you guys lost the A's. There's a reason you guys lost the Raiders. This stuff's insane. So let's read this article. Let's go over to KTVU Fox 2. San Francisco gets $17 million to fight retail theft. Oakland misses grant deadline. Unreal. San Francisco, the city of San Francisco outlined on Thursday how it plans to use $17 million grant from the state to combat retail theft. Meanwhile, the city of Oakland says it won't be getting similar funding because city officials missed the grant's application deadline. Oakland city officials blamed the missed application deadline on the city's decentralized approach to the grants process. Okay. This outcome is unacceptable. The city of Oakland said in a statement regarding the missed deadline, the city and department are reviewing everything that happened to ensure it does not happen again and will take appropriate action. Oakland said it was in the process of hiring a person responsible for managing grants across the city departments. I think it's a disgrace that they didn't, said Piedmont grocery manager Luis Hernandez in Oakland. This fencing we had to put up to just cost to keep them from getting our liquor, which was a big problem. So he's saying he had to fence off their liquor cabinets. Hernandez says shoplifters in the city have become increasingly brazen and that retailers have been pleading for help from the city's understaffed police force, and that grant money could have been used to help. Yeah. So the NAACP Oakland branch had a strong reaction to this development. We are shocked, perplexed, and furious that the city of Oakland forfeited millions of dollars in crime prevention funding by missing a state grant deadline. The organization said in a statement, San Francisco received $17.3 million from the state. The Alameda County District Attorney's Office received $2 million. The San Jose Police Department secured $8.5 million, and 52 other California cities and counties received money. Oakland got nothing. Freaking Oakland. The level of incompetency here is ridiculous. It's not just this. This is sort of like the icing on the cake. Like, they lost the Raiders. They lost the A's. Oakland is a nightmare. Like, I don't even know. Oakland used to be so great at Lake Merritt when they would have off the grid night where all the food trucks would come. And my buddy Lauren used to live right above at Lake Merritt. And it was fun. Just walk down to Lake Merritt, walk around the lake, go over to it was just nice. It was fun. Like, Oakland is so bad now. And they just run it into the ground. They don't care. They didn't even apply. If this was a business, it would have went out of business a long time ago. There's no accountability. They have no one to be accountable to. I 100% believe, especially now with universal mail-in ballots, that California is essentially, I don't know if failed state is the right word, but it's like some sort of totalitarian state. Like, there's no opposition to the progressives. And I'm not talking about Democrats. They've infiltrated the Democratic Party in California, but radical progressives have completely taken over the ballots, the polling stations when we vote, and they obviously have a super majority in the legislature and the state Senate, and you got crazy Gavin Newsom. It's rigged. If you're a Californian and you're looking at this, especially with the recall, everyone hates Newsom. And I really think he lost that recall. But yeah, I really think California is rigged. But anyway, that's just my tinfoil hat speaking. All right, I think we've had enough of this article. So just Oakland failed to apply for the deadline of millions of dollars that, so, you know, this Oakland taxpayers paid into this fund and it would have been given back to them, but Oakland just didn't apply for it. And Oakland is arguably the worst city in terms of crime in California. You know, Oakland, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Actually, Los Angeles probably isn't even nearly as bad as San Francisco and Oakland. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Unreal. How can that happen? Just a bunch of people saying it's unacceptable. They're going to blame some poor intern. Okay. Well, Bay Area for you. Okay. What do we got next? I got a little bit more California insanity I want to talk about. Yeah, just a little bit. And then we'll move on to some other stuff. I don't want to talk about California all night. Well, all right. I haven't been talking about California for too long, at least. All right. Let's go back actually and check the chat here. How's everybody doing? Everybody hanging in there? Let's see. All right. East Bay present. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We got over here on YouTube. Oh, I haven't seen my buddy Lonnie in a while. He's always working. Let's see. All right, California shenanigans. Let's get into it. I didn't even tell you guys. We had our first cross country meet yesterday. It was fantastic. Little middle schoolers. Our 8th grade boys and 8th grade girls actually took first place in the first meet there. Pretty awesome. Got a lot of strong little runners over there. And I was very proud of them. Very proud indeed. Some kid from another school just like broke my brain with how fast he is, though. Because I ran the course like ahead of the race just to do a sweep and make sure that there was no sticks and stuff on the course. And I ran it pretty hard. I did like 18 minutes and 6 seconds. This kid ran the course. It's a 1.97 mile course with 151 feet of elevation gain. I did like 18 minutes. You know, it's not fast. It's not terribly slow, but it's not fast. This kid, though, did it in 13 minutes and 4 seconds. What? I'm sorry. It's a technical course too. Like there's lots of routes. You can't go full bore on this course. I'm sorry. I know nobody cares about running. Okay, let's talk about California a little bit more. Yeah, this just happened. Actually, let's watch this video really quick. This is insane. So cops just stood by and watched this happen. So please watch as man steals car from Hollywood dealership before wild LA chase. So just watch this. Like, this guy has to be thinking in his mind, like, well, if I get free, it looks like they got spike strips down right there. He's got to be thinking, if I get free, they can't chase me, because that's a lot. They know all the things that the cops aren't allowed to do. And that's why they're so brazen. Cops aren't allowed to get in high speed pursuits. They're not allowed to go after people that steal less than $1,000. And what has this turned into? Just mobs of people meeting up, like organizing online, meeting up at a store and just robbing it blind, or just individuals brazenly walking in and taking stuff. It's the criminals know what they can get away with. And at the same time, if we do anything to stop it, we're the ones that are getting in trouble. We're the ones that are going to get busted. And that's where I say, if you're a cop in the Bay Area and you're helping all this happen, you're helping make us victims. Can you really call yourself a good guy? if you're a Bay Area cop, I'm serious. I really want you to think about that. If you're a Bay Area cop right now, can you call yourself a good guy? The only people that are getting damaged by all this stuff are ordinary citizens that are law-abiding, trying to run a business, just trying to live their daily lives. These are the people that you end up going after for regular crimes that you can bust us because we'll actually pay the ticket. Meanwhile, this stuff keeps happening, and we're the victims of that. And if we do anything to defend ourselves, you'll go after us for that. It really feels like you hate us. Seriously. So I ask again, if you are a Bay Area police officer, do you really think you can call yourself the good guy? You're just following orders. You're just doing what they tell you to do. You're not protecting and serving any one of the citizenry. You're protecting and serving politicians and rich people. That's it. And you're just following orders, and they're not quite evil yet, but they are certainly approaching evil. So when do you quit? Cops, when do you quit your job? At what point do the commands that your superiors give you become so evil that you actually decide to quit your job? Because right now they're not evil enough. They're just slightly, it's enough evil for you to tolerate right now. So if they start telling you officers to come door to door and take our weapons, is that an amount of evil that you'd be willing to enforce? Like, really ask yourself these questions, officers, because this is the shit that's coming down the pipe. And you are not looking like the good guys. You're slowly turning into stormtroopers. And this isn't like hardcore. I'm not Antifa, dude. Like, I'm not some black clad wearing I'm not a Marxist. I've always paid my taxes. I don't have a criminal record. I follow all of the stupid California gun regulations. I'm a pretty by the book guy. I coach middle school cross country. We're the ones that you guys are coming after. Ordinary, everyday folk, and we're getting pissed. We're sick of it. Officers, you're not doing your jobs. Oh, well, the DAs don't lock them up. Then quit. Go to another department. Get another job. Bag groceries. Because right now, all you're doing is helping perpetuate evil. Quit your job. Make them figure out, our cops don't want to enforce our draconian laws. Because seriously, officers, especially officers of San Francisco and Oakland, what is going on? Like, how can you guys put on your badge every day? Really? You're not representing good. You're not the good guys. So that's sort of my rant on that. Sorry, cops. Like, I train with a lot of you guys. I personally have a few cop friends. Policing has become evil in California, specifically in the Bay Area, more specifically in San Francisco and Oakland. Policing has become evil. It's anarcho-tyranny. It's selective enforcement of the law. And you usually go after the easy prey, like us, the people that are easy to ticket. We're not going to run. We're not going to put up a fight. We're just going to pay it. And you guys got to meet your ticket quota, right, officers? So, well, why would you go after the hardcore criminals with guns? That would be hard. Why would you do that? All right. I think that's enough. Enough of ranting about the police. Maybe. But not. Because this isn't so much of the police, but this is more California draconian laws. Gavin Newsom says today, this was about, let's see. Yeah, this was this morning at 8:30. California just became the first state in the nation to officially propose an amendment to the United States Constitution to end our nation's gun crisis. Our gun crisis. You mean all the guns that you guys have already determined to be illegal? All the gun crime that's happening with the already illegal weapons? That gun violence crisis that you're talking about? Okay, so you want to remove... Okay. We just got done talking about all the rampant crime in California and how citizens can't defend themselves. And then Gavin Newsom comes out and says he wants to take more weapons from those citizens. This guy wants to run this country. Look what he's done to California. He's been in charge of this state since I've been a kid. He was in charge of San Francisco when I was a kid and has just gained more power in this state since I was a kid. Now I'm 39. I've lived here all my life. Born and raised Californian. I've been in the Bay Area most of my life. Lived in Southern California for a couple years. Gavin Newsom is an evil man. He has driven the state into the ground in the 90s, in the 94, 95, 96. Man, California was the place to be. California was the place to grow up as a kid in the 90s. And then came along Gavin Newsom. All right, so he wants to, he says, time to enshrine 4 widely supported gun safety freedoms, raising the minimum age to purchase a gun to 21, universal background checks, which we already have, a reasonable waiting period for gun purchases. Reasonable. So that's just, what, later to be defined. Who says it's reasonable? Because what I think is reasonable and what Gavin Newsom thinks is reasonable are 2 completely different things. So who decides reasonable? And waiting period for gun purchases. What does the waiting period do? Really, they call it a cool off period here in California. You got to wait 10 days. After you buy a gun here in California, you get to go to the gun shop, you go through the background check, all that stuff. After you purchase the gun, you got to go home and come back 10 days later to pick it up. So you better hope you have a gun shop like close to your house too, because I go all the way to Fremont. Like I went and got my lever gun and I had to wait 10 days. I had to drive back there 10 days later to get it. And I just want to show you guys this freaking round this thing shoots. Man, this is gnarly, you guys. Look at this. This is 4570. This stuff is insane. Look at that. This is 30-06. This is like a 180 grain bullet. This is 325 grain bullet. It's 30-06. It's 4570. Like, put it in perspective. This is the AR-15 round that'll blow a lung out of your body. This is a 5.56 round. This is 30-06. This is 4570 government. This, man, this thing, that is a beast of a round, I should say. Anyway, I had to come back. What was it? Like 10 days later to pick up my silly lever action. No, it's not silly. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful rifle. But I had to come back 10 days later to get it. Lever action rifle. Doesn't matter what firearm you get. Doesn't matter if you get a 22, a little plinker. Yeah, so a reasonable waiting period. He wants banning civilian purchases of assault weapons. Another term yet to be defined. What is an assault weapon? Because they still haven't defined it. I've been hearing this since long before I was into guns. Like long before I was into guns, I was hearing people say, "What is an assault weapon? Can you guys define it?" And I would always be like, "Oh yeah, what do they? How do they define an assault weapon? They can't. They don't. They don't define an assault weapon." And once they do, gun manufacturers will find a way around it. Are you going to define it as the pistol grip? Are you going to define it as you can't put a scary quad rail on it? It can't be black. It can't have an adjustable stock. You can't put a suppressor on it. What are the rules? What makes an assault weapon an assault weapon? So that's what Gavin Newsom says he wants to do. Yeah. So cops, let's see, what is, none of these laws would take guns from people. But I guess my question is when they decide to pass a law that says officers have to go to people's doors and take their guns from them, you guys going to do that? Where's your line, officers? Where is your line where you're saying, you know what, that is something I am not going to enforce? Okay. All right. Enough Gavin. I think I have a couple more California things I want to talk about. Yeah, this woman got attacked on BART. Bart, you're just in a tube at the mercy of everyone. And this guy followed her off the train and just started beating the crap out of her. Already saw that one. California becomes the first state to pass 11% tax on guns and ammunition. Now awaiting governor's signature and guaranteed he'll sign that. So this is also something that should be 100% unconstitutional. They're going to try to price people out of buying weapons. What if they made it 100% tax? So they made it. What if they made it so a $500 pistol is now $1,500? Tons of people now wouldn't be able to buy a pistol, and That's unconstitutional. You're just making it, adding an 11% tax to guns and ammunitions. What's the difference between that and adding a 1,000% tax to guns and ammunition? What's the difference? Because what is the point of it? What is the 11? And how did you arrive at 11%? Why not 9%? Why not 13%? How did you arrive at that number? And what is the purpose of that 11%? Is it supposed to decrease gun sales? And if so, by what mechanism? Are you using financial coercion to keep people from buying weapons? Are you trying to price people out of buying weapons, keep poor people from buying weapons? Seems unconstitutional. So again, where's the line? If it's 11% tax is okay, then why is a 1,000% tax not okay? No, that's not okay. This should be shot down by the courts too. But this is something that California repeatedly does. They do stuff that they know is unconstitutional. They know that it'll get shot down in the courts, but there will be this period of time where nobody can do anything about it. They just decree by law, like the 10-day waiting period, like the stupid magazine capacity. That's this freaking magazine capacity, 10 rounds in this stupid thing. Like, it's really frustrating. There's the home invasion. I talked about the home invasion thing too. So what if somebody, let's say your AR is your home defense weapon. Yes, many people will argue that's not the greatest defense weapon. It's not my defense weapon of choice, but let's just say it is your defense weapon. And you can only keep a 10-round magazine in it. And there's a home invader of 5 guys, and they all have weapons. A bunch of people are probably saying, oh, well, you can't, 5 guys, you're outgunned already anyway. That's not the point. Magazine capacity. The state does not have a right to limit your magazine capacity. You limit your ability to defend yourself. And do you think the criminals are going to have 10-round magazines where they go out to rob and do a home invasion and freaking tie up your children and wife and do God knows what to them? Do you think before they do that, they go, hey, guys, nope, hold on. Let's make sure we got our California compliant magazines in our rifles. Is that an extended magazine that I see there? Is that an adjustable stock? I don't think so, guys. You know what Gavin said. Anyway, okay. All right. Enough of that. This is kind of a funny video. I'll just show it really quick since we're already here. This is a dude that got subdued from shoplifting, and then customers grabbed him and held him there, and he just starts screaming, "I can't breathe."
Let me go! Let me go!
Hey, bro.
I can't breathe. This man got me squeezed.
You see this look right here? You see this dude? If this dude gets you wrapped up, it's game over. This dude right here, if you see this guy just calm as hell, with this look on his face, like he's ready to go on his lunch break, it's just another walk in the park for him. Sorry, buddy, you're not going anywhere. That is an Islander that's been here and done this before. He may be Latino. I feel like he's an Islander. Actually, I think he's probably Latino, but kind of looks like he's a big boy. He's a big boy, and he looks very calm. He knows what he's doing. Probably knows how to box. But it doesn't bother me when people do this with their haircut and they cut off their little widow's peak right here. Like I don't think the front of your hair should be cut right here. I don't like that. I don't think we should be doing that, guys. I know a lot of you guys like to do that, but I would like to say his barber does a nice little fade there, and I've been looking for a barber because I haven't gotten a haircut in like 6 weeks because my last one I got was messed up and my barber's out of town. How come people just start screaming, "I can't breathe" now? Like they think that it's the new hands up, don't shoot. People feel like if they get wrapped up by anyone, cop, anybody restraining them for doing crime, that if they yell, "I can't breathe," they have to let them go. Like, it's just so many crimes have been legalized or decriminalized to a point that people now, when they get busted for crime, they're like, what? Huh? You're actually going to hold me accountable for my actions? And people are shocked. And then I bet this guy got let go too. I bet they eventually just let him go. Anyway. Oh yeah, Gavin's flip-flopping. So he goes and he says, we would have done everything differently. We didn't know because we didn't know, talking about COVID. People didn't know because of censorship and slander. This person says, yeah, Gavin came out and said that we would have done a lot of things differently during COVID. And we didn't know because we didn't know. Right. Because California tech companies suppressed vital information from American citizens, denying them informed consent. Yes. California fast food workers are getting a $20 minimum wage. So that's happening. So that will be sure to speed up the automation process of fast food. Okay, that's it. That is it on California. I am done with the Californias. Time to talk about corrupt Joe Biden. So it looks like, is it time to talk about corrupt Joe Biden? I think it is. Yes, it is. Where do I want to start here? Because there's so much. I think I'm actually going to start with sort of a video that demonstrates the copium from the left regarding Joe Biden and the refusal to look at stuff. That's, I think, what I want to start talking about, because this video is from a couple weeks ago, but many of you probably already saw it. A bunch of people have been talking about it. But Philip Bump went on this podcast, Noam D. Warman, which I've never heard of. But you know, this guy's a big Washington Post reporter, and he gets asked some really basic questions about Hunter Biden, and he's just befuddled. He's completely taken off guard and doesn't know. And the guy's not trying to ask him in a gotcha type of way. He's genuinely asking in good faith. This is probably another person from the left, and it demonstrates the low information voter, many of which are on the left. There's low information voters on the right too, but there's people that have no clue certain things are going on, like really big things, no clue that they happened. And it amazes me. So let's go really quick to this video from, this is Philip Bump being a typical liberal weirdo. Thanks, Wally World, about the runners. Appreciate that. All right, Philip Bump.
What do you take from the text message to his adult daughter? Hunter's text message, I have to give 50% of my income to Pop.
I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what that means.
Well, it's
I know it's circumstantial evidence, and you prefer that.
No, what could it mean?
I have no idea.
But doesn't it?
I don't know.
Well,
I appreciate your.
Has anybody asked her?
So he's just immediately trying to sidestep the question. He asked him a very simple question. What do you think about the text message from Hunter Biden when he's texting, I think, Ashley Biden, saying, I have to give 10% of my income to dad, to Joe Biden? Like that's evidence right there. A text message of Hunter Biden saying that he has to give 10%. Remember, there's the other one, 10% of the big guy. There is a ton of people coming out right now after the impeachment news saying that there's no evidence to support any of this stuff. There's tons of evidence. And when you look at all the evidence together, especially in the timeline, it's almost it's a smoking gun. That Joe Biden was clearly selling influence as vice president of the United States. That is very clear. There's a paper trail. There's tons of evidence, witness testimony, multiple witnesses. And this guy is acting like, oh, I've never heard of it. And then he just tries to walk off the show. It's unreal. This is a Washington Post reporter. This is like somebody that's supposed to be held up on a pedestal when it comes to journalism. She's trying to walk off the show. from being asked a basic question by some comedian podcaster?
I don't know.
Don't you think somebody should ask her?
Okay. Like I'm not. I just said I don't know, and I don't know what to make of it, so I have nothing
Yeah,
else to
but
say about it.
Yeah,
what
but
do you want me to say?
Yeah, but you say there's no evidence. But then there's a text message where he says, "I give Pop 50% of my money." That's evidence.
Thank you. That's what's happening right now. So many people are saying there's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's tons of evidence. Like, we can list it off. Tons of evidence. We're going to list off a bunch of the evidence. And then he just says, okay, well, it's evidence.
Okay, well, okay, fine.
So
it's evidence. I appreciate you having me on.
It doesn't. That something like that. Who do you think is more? I listen to that and I'm saying,
Am I?
You can free to go.
I feel you want me to leave, like just walk out in the middle of this because that way you can
you can go.
Right.
Is this a standard? Really, this is the way the Washington Post handles people who disagree with them.
When I agree to be on for 45 minutes,
go,
and then
go.
I get on for an hour and 15. Yeah,
Go,
that after a while I
go.
Thanks for having me.
What a whiny little crybaby. Just I can't. So that's Philip Bump for you. That's just the typical. He didn't even get pressed. He didn't get pressed hard at all. He got asked one single question. Imagine if somebody just laid out the timeline and all the evidence to show Joe Biden very clearly selling his influence. Unreal. These people are unreal. All right, let's go over to Kennecott the Great. I want to show all the different evidence. I'm sure I got it somewhere. Sorry, folks. Okay, here it is. Okay. We'll watch this quick video. It's a 2-minute video, but this is from Kennecott the Great. There is no direct evidence that President Biden was involved in any way, shape, or form in Hunter Biden's business dealings. They would be going on with an impeachment inquiry based on lies. There's tons of evidence to show and suggest that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business dealings. Tons of evidence, including witness testimony and bank accounts, which we'll get into right here. Actually, I'm not even going to play this video. We'll just get into the evidence. Kennecott the Great does great here. Hunter Biden paid his father's phone bills, house repairs, and monthly expenses, and told his daughters that he paid for everything for his entire family for 30 years. But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. So that right there, evidence. That's evidence. Hunter Biden is saying that he gave Pop half the salary and that he paid for everything for 30 years. That would suggest that Hunter's the bag man right there. And then these are different text messages and receipts and things. And here's another one. So another one where it said there's no evidence. Rep. James Comer says 6 banks, including JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, submitted over 170 suspicious activity reports to the Treasury Department regarding the Biden family, alleging their involvement in money laundering, human trafficking, and tax fraud, I believe. Oh, tax evasion. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to read this whole thing. Don't have enough time. I'll play this quick video from Ted Cruz. Actually, no, it's not quick. I'm not going to play it for you guys. It's 7 minutes. No time. No time for that, people. Well, good. It's freaking out anyway. All right, let's go back to this original video.
So back here in Washington, Congress is returning later this month. You were the lead majority counsel in the first impeachment of Donald Trump. Kevin McCarthy has been making a lot of noise about moving forward with a process toward an impeachment inquiry of President Biden. If that were to happen, what will Congress or the White House be able to get anything done at all over the next year? I mean, this could suck up a lot of oxygen and time and effort and energy.
Right. I mean, the timing of it is interesting. We are hitting the end of the fiscal year, September 30th. The Senate has passed all 12 of their appropriations bills through committee. They are now taking them onto the floor to be done by September 30th. The House Republicans have passed 1 out of 12. There's no indication that they can get their own act in order and they can make any agreements among themselves to actually pass these bills and keep the government open. And part of the reason that they're running into trouble is that
I'm sorry, I can't listen to this guy anymore. I can't. Just, it's all the same freaking talking points every single time. You're going to hear, well, actually, I don't know. I was about to say you're going to hear a lot of people saying there's no evidence, a bunch of crap over the next few days. But it seems like they're kind of starting to try to throw Biden under the bus. So let's actually go over to the CNN video really quick. Let's see. Oh, no, I want to show you this John Kirby one. Actually, let's see. Do I even have this? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is from Vivek Ramaswamy. So this quick CNN video, which I'll play in a second, but Vivek says, the deep state will devour its own, and then they'll trot out Michelle or Gavin or whoever their new puppet du jour happens to be. Mark my words, if the administration state succeeds in bringing down Trump, they will then go after Biden because his puppet masters will no longer have a use for him. They can use it to justify what they did to Trump. It's no accident that you see the Hunter indictment come right as Biden's own popularity among Democrats starts to dip. It's all one big optical illusion. So Vivek seems to think that they are turning on Biden now. And I kind of, I'm getting that sense too. I'm getting the sense that everyone's telling Biden not to run, and they're trying to figure out who they're going to put in his place, but Biden's not cooperating. That's sort of the sense that I'm getting, especially with that Nancy Pelosi crap yesterday, which I don't have pulled up. But let's listen to this quick video of CNN talking about Biden, and tell me if this sounds like how CNN normally talks about Biden.
And he has done, I don't know if it's similar things, but he's sort of told some stories that don't line up quite like this before.
Yeah, this president has a pattern at this point of either inventing or embellishing stories about his own past, his biography. He did it 3 times in one speech last month alone. He claimed he had witnessed a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh when he actually showed up about 6 hours later. He claimed that his grandfather had died just days before he was born himself at the same hospital. In fact, his grandpa died more than a year before in a different state, not the same hospital. And he also repeated a favorite false story that I and others have debunked over and over again about a supposed conversation with an Amtrak train conductor he was friends with, who was actually deceased at the time the conversation would have had to take place. And that's not all. There are some more serious ones in my view. Previously in his presidency, he claimed at one point he'd been arrested during a civil rights protest, when in other versions of the story, he just said an officer had taken him home from a protest. He said he had visited the Pittsburgh synagogue where worshipers were killed in a 2018 mass shooting. In fact, he had actually spoken to the rabbi, but never went. And he's made a whole bunch of others too. He said at one point, Republicans like to bring this up, he said that he used to drive a tractor trailer, he used to drive an 18-wheeler. Never happened. The White House later clarified he used to drive a school bus at one point as a job briefly. School bus, of course, not an 18-wheeler. So whatever his intentions, whether it's foggy memory about stuff that's going on decades ago or deliberate embellishment, this is an unfortunate pattern that keeps coming up again and again with Joe Biden.
Does that sound like CNN talking about Joe Biden? They just rattled off a list of his lies, right? Just showing how untrustworthy he is. I don't know. Feels like they are turning on Biden. They want another candidate, and that's just sort of the freaking vibe I'm getting from the whole thing. I think they want to bring in Gavin. I think RFK is a problem for them. So That's that quick one from CNN I wanted to show you. But let's go back. Let's go back to freaking Kirby, man. This guy is such a disaster. So he doesn't answer the question at all, like always, but this time it's just super obvious, and you could tell he knows he's not answering the question, and it's just bad and awkward and embarrassing for everybody. So let's just watch this quick 1-minute video of Kirby dodging a question.
John, in the past couple of weeks, the president has lied about being at Ground Zero the day after the September 11th attacks, falsely claimed he saw the Pittsburgh bridge collapse, claimed his grandfather died in the hospital days before his birth. What is going on with the president? Is he just believing things that didn't happen did happen, or is he just randomly making stuff up?
The president.
And that's a highly legitimate and concerning question for Americans. Is he just lying and making stuff up? Or does he believe this stuff and he's got dementia? Because these things that he's saying that are very easily disprovable, these are concerns for everybody. If Trump was doing this stuff, it would be wall-to-wall, nonstop coverage. But it's Biden, so we're just like, oh, it's just Goofy Joe. No. Is he lying or does he have dementia?
Was deeply touched and honored to be able to spend 9/11 with military members there in Alaska and some families, and was honored by their presence and the chance to make an important set of remarks about why we need to continue to remember that day. And he did that. And he spoke about a visit to Ground Zero, which he did participate in about a week or so after the event.
Right, but he said he was there the day of.
And what that looked and what that smelled and what like that felt like. And it had a visceral impact on him, as it did so many other Americans on that terrible day. And he's focused on making sure that an attack like that never happens again.
Shut up, John Kirby. Okay. There's more footage of him just walking out, actually. Oh, yeah, this lie that he tells. I won't go full screen on it. I just want you to hear Joe Biden just tell straight up lies.
In fact, only 2 presidents in American history with fewer jobs the day they left office than when they started. One was President Hoover, and the other was Donald Hoover Trump.
Okay. So they're really trying to use the jobs numbers from, what is that, January 2021, compared to when before COVID, what the jobs numbers were right before COVID happened. They're just really trying to say, without any more context, as if we're all supposed to forget that this pandemic happened. They're trying to compare that to Herbert Hoover's job numbers. It's just so transparently and obviously dishonest, but they know that there's a certain set of the population that are just like, oh yeah, that's right, job numbers. That'll just take whatever they say and put it in their little shelf, so it's like other stuff they can regurgitate at parties to act like they know what they're talking about. Listen to them lie a little more.
Seriously, only 2 presidents in American history. And look, you may remember my predecessor promised to be the greatest job president in history. Well, it didn't really work out that way. He lost 2 million jobs over the course of his presidency. 2 million.
He's such a garbage human being. All right, I think that's all I got. I think that's all I want to talk about him. So freaking annoying. Yeah, that's all I want to talk about, creepy Uncle Joe. All right, enough of him for tonight. What do we got next, folks? Plenty more to talk about. Oh, yeah, the border. Kinda results of the border. So some of this stuff is really sad. A lot of this stuff is really sad, but the videos coming out of New York are pretty gnarly. And so let's just see here. So this is the Roosevelt Hotel. The Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. Hundreds of migrants' families wait outside to send their kids off to school. City officials stated that around 19,000 migrant kids were enrolled into New York City public schools. 19,000 additional kids from not just from Mexico, from all over the world, all sorts of different languages. Never been to this country before. Just poof into New York City schools all of a sudden. City officials stated migrant kids don't have to get vaccinated to enter the school, but will work on getting them vaccinated. We're not talking about for COVID-19. We're talking about the regular vaccine schedule. You know, parents, the vaccine schedule that they are insane about before they let your kid even step foot on campus. Yeah, they're just letting 19,000 kids that may or may not have had their polio vaccine, all the vaccines that you guys are super concerned about. Yeah, no, they don't. Come right on. Come on in. Yeah. Okay. Let me play this video for you guys. It's pretty impressive. Just the number, the scene outside, because you know, this is New York City. This is the Roosevelt Hotel. This is like a fancy area, from my understanding. I've never been to New York, so I don't know. But I would imagine this is like a well-to-do area, and the scene out in front of it doesn't really reflect that. Oh, let's watch this video here. Oopsie. It's just hundreds and hundreds of kids lined up with their parents, all the way going around the corner. Everyone's given cell phones and put up in a hotel. Like, so much money goes into this. None of these are United States citizens. Okay. And so you know how like Gavin Newsom and what's her name? Kathy Hochul and Greg Adams are all freaking out about what's his name? Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis sending migrant buses up to New York to just drop off migrants there because they're a sanctuary state. Well, and Gavin Newsom does the same thing, talks tons of crap about Abbott sending him to New York, tons of crap. And then I see this today. This is another busload of illegals sent to California. Where's the outrage from Gavin Newsom? Where's the lawsuit from Rob Bonta? Nowhere, because those crowds will keep their mouths shut. Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott didn't send them. Joe Biden did. So this is the Border Patrol. So here, watch this quick video. This is from Fox News. And so this is the same thing. We're just bringing migrants into California, but since it's Gavin Newsom bringing them in and it's Joe Biden and the Border Patrol, they're not going to make a big stink about it, because it's not Greg Abbott sending them over and they can't use it as a political tool. So watch this quick video from Fox News.
Take a look at this video out of San Diego yesterday afternoon. What you're looking at is 3 unmarked white Border Patrol buses. They pull up and they start releasing several hundred illegal immigrants to city streets and sidewalks in San Diego across from a transit terminal. People were on this bus from as far away as China and Pakistan. And keep in mind, these buses are not from Texas. They're not Greg Abbott's buses. These are the Biden administration's buses. This is Border Patrol mass releasing people. You can see handfuls of them are standing around not knowing where they are, what to do, where to go next. And there was a remarkable exchange between one migrant and a Border Patrol agent as he asked the agent, "Hey, am I okay to travel to Chicago?" And the agent says, "Yep, you're good to go." Take a listen.
You're free to go to mall anywhere you want. You're free.
Okay, it's no problem if I go to Chicago.
Wherever you want. You're free.
So that's insane to me. Like, talking about how the border's wide open. I saw Krasenstein complaining about how there's no difference now with Biden's policies than Trump's policies. And it's just another just super dishonest. Like, are you lying or are you slow? Because this wasn't happening when Trump was in office. This is legalized. Bring everybody in. Like, that guy's just going to be off to Chicago and he's going to be in the wind. There's so many illegal immigrants that have been brought in from all over the world. There's going to be no way to. They're here. They're here to stay. It's not good, people.
And these mass releases also taking place in Border Patrol's Tucson, Arizona sector. We shot this video in Sierra Vista, Arizona yesterday afternoon. A Guatemalan family dropped off by Border Patrol in a Dollar Tree parking lot, just a random store parking lot. They didn't know where they were. They didn't know what to do. And the local sheriff out there says these mass street releases aren't fair to the community. They're not fair to the migrants. Take a listen.
People come from all over the country to smuggle here, endanger this community, the citizens, and we worked united to combat that. Then to find out yesterday that CBP is doing street releases, as they call them, safe. There's nothing safe about it.
Meanwhile, here in the state.
So California Border Patrol is just taking the migrants to the streets and just, okay, here you go. You know, they have whatever they have with them, and it's just, okay, you're here now. Figure it out. It's unbelievably cruel. At least that lady seemed to be with her husband. She seemed to be like with her family. I don't know. Hopefully. Just, this is not a good situation. It's not good for anyone.
State of Texas. Texas is trying to stand its own ground without the help of the federal government. The video you're looking at here in El Paso, as Texas National Guard soldiers continue to use razor wire and physical manpower to try to block large masses of migrants trying to enter the United States illegally. That group of migrants waiting in the Rio Grande, expecting to be led.
Jeez. Yeah, it's like, what's the point? I mean, there's just like spots where they shore up the border. This is done just by Texas. This is such a disaster. It is such a freaking disaster. All right, well, it is what it is. Let's see. All right. You know what? I haven't checked over on Odyssey really quick. There's never anybody watching on Odyssey. Actually, there's one person that watches over there. I don't know who it is. You should say hi to me one day. Just tell me who you are so I know who's actually watching on Odyssey. You're the only reason I stream over there, because I always see one person watched. So it's the only reason I stream over there on Odyssey. All right. I think that's it for the border. Let's stop sharing here. Yeah, that's all I got for the border right now. I don't want to talk about that anymore. I do have a few more things lined up. I don't think we're going to make it. Well, yeah, we should. We should have time. Let's see here. All right. Yeah, the Gretchen Whitmer crap. So you guys heard, I'm sure. Sorry about that. I'm sure you guys heard about the old Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping plot that was seriously just a ton of federal agents trying to convince a bunch of dudes to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. Like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to give the cliff notes, but yeah, it was basically a bunch of federal agents that concocted this plan to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, set up a buy to get C4 with another federal agent, and they were like directing and running this whole thing. And then they just got some dudes like roped up in the whole thing, and they tried to pin the whole thing on them. It was like the ultimate entrapment thing. And then one of the agents that was involved got in like major trouble for beating the piss out of his wife after some swinger party or some crap like that. Huge disaster, huge, awful FBI shenanigans story. But let's go over to the Gateway Pundit, see their article from it. I'll read theirs. So let me pull it up here. Might as well pull it up on the screen. Uh-oh. Got my dog over there falling over. All right, let's go over to the Gateway Pundit, read this quick article. It's not too long. So, all right. Final 3 men acquitted and breakdown crying in Junk Whitmer kidnapping case that was hatched, planned, paid for, and executed by Chris Wray, FBI. Chris Wray's FBI in vicious plot against innocent Michigan men. Twin brothers William and Michael Knoll, along with Eric Molitor, were acquitted on Friday by the Antrim County, Michigan jury on charges of providing material support for a terrorist act and illegally possessing firearms. The 3 men faced up to 20 years in prison for their alleged crimes. The entire plot was hatched, planned, paid for, and executed by FBI informants. The FBI informants pushed the violent plans to kidnap Whitner. It was called a setup. So many of these guys are feds. In an October 2020 press conference, the FBI announced it had thwarted a plot by a so-called right-wing militia to kidnap and kill Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The Whitmer kidnap plot was in the media 24/7 and used to bludgeon Trump with just a few weeks to go until the election day. So that's what you guys remember. They're really putting a ton of emphasis on this before the election. Meanwhile, they're suppressing the Hunter Biden laptop. Same FBI. The FBI used at least 12 informants in the Michigan Whitmer kidnapping case. There were 6 defendants and 12 FBI informants identified as the case progressed. Today, 3 Michigan men were acquitted in the FBI plot. The FBI planned the Whitmer attack, organized the attack, paid for the attack, and recruited local men to join in their planned attack. It was another complete setup by Chris Wray's FBI to frame the run. Okay, you guys get the gist of it. So, yeah, they were acquitted, so they're not going to jail. So another win for liberty. But, yeah, FBI setting people up again. Makes you wonder about those January 6th defendants, doesn't it? It makes you wonder how many Fed boys were in the crowd that day, breaking windows and doing all sorts of shenanigans like that, doesn't it? Makes you kind of wonder. Hey, who planted the pipe bomb? They ever find that out yet, FBI? Did you guys ever find out who planted the pipe bomb on January 6th yet, FBI? Did you? No? Didn't think so. I heard there's lots of cameras there. It's weird. You guys haven't figured that out yet. Just guess. Okay. This is from Disclosed TV. This is some COVID madness. Just in, CIA rewarded multiple analysts with significant financial incentives to change their COVID origins conclusions from a lab leak to zoonosis, according to highly credible whistleblower, U.S. Health Subcommittee says. Okay, let's go over to this U.S. House Subcommittee thingamajig. I'll pull it up on screen. Might as well. Okay. So, it seems like there's some sort of like big. This should be a big giant bombshell, but it's just going to get lost in the news cycle of everything else because there's something giant that happens every single day. It seems there's something big that comes out, a big piece of information. So this is from some House Select Subcommittee. This is from the Honorable William J. Burns, Director of the Central Intelligence Agency. Dear Director Burns, the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, Select Subcommittee, and the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, HPSCI, together, the committees have received new and concerning whistleblower testimony regarding the agency's investigation into the origins of COVID-19. A multi-decade senior-level current agency officer has come forward to provide information to the committee regarding the agency's analysis into the origins of COVID-19. According to the whistleblower, the agency assigned 7 officers to a COVID discovery team. The team consisted of multidisciplinary and experienced officers with significant scientific expertise. According to the whistleblower, and at the end of the review, 6 of the 7 members of the team believed the intelligence and the science were sufficient to make a low confident assessment that COVID-19 originated from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. The 7th member of the team, who also happened to be the most senior, was the lone officer to believe COVID-19 originated through zoonosis. The whistleblower further contends that to come to the eventual public determination of uncertainty, the other 6 members were given a significant monetary incentive to change their position. They paid them off. These allegations from a seemingly credible source requires the committee to conduct further oversight on how the CIA handled its internal investigation into the origins of COVID-19. To assist the committee with their investigation, we request the following documents and information as soon as possible, but no later than September 26th. Okay, so let's just think about the implications of this really quick. So really early on, the CIA is looking into the origins of COVID-19. They assigned 7 people. 6 of the 7 people were like, yeah, this came from that lab over in Wuhan. Then the guy that's in charge, the senior guy, he says, no, this came from zoonosis. And then a few days or weeks later or whatever, after those guys' pockets, those other 6 guys' pockets got a little deeper, they flipped scripts and said it was from zoonosis. Okay. So why would the CIA have any sort of interest in saying that this did not come from the lab? I'll just come out and say it. I think that COVID-19 was made in a lab on purpose with the help of the United States government in conjunction with the CCP and released on purpose to usher in this sort of totalitarian state that we're seeing take place right before our eyes and to get Trump out of office. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that. I don't have any scientific proof to I could probably create a very strong argument with lots of supporting evidence for everything I just said. So why did the CIA have such an interest in saying that this didn't come from the lab in Wuhan, China? Did the CIA have any sort of involvement with the development of the virus in the Wuhan lab? Did they know about this before it was released? So, all right, they want, by September 26, 2023, they want all documents and communications regarding the establishment of all iterations of COVID-19 discovery teams. All documents and communications between or among members of all iterations of COVID-19 discovery teams regarding origins of COVID-19. All documents and communications between or among members of the iterations of the COVID-19 discovery team and other employees or contractors of the agency regarding the origins of COVID-19. All right, he just continues saying all the other crap that he wants. And they talk about how they have subpoena power and blah, blah, blah. Nothing will happen. It's another one of those things. So, yeah, it looks like the CIA was involved. What a shocker. What a shocker. The CIA was involved in some narrative to push that shapes the perspective of the entire global populace. Yeah, what a shocker. MK Ultra. Okay, that's more Project Bluebeam, but I mean, or no, that's Operation Mockingbird, isn't it? Yeah. Remember, Obama made it legal for the CIA to psyop its own citizens. So, don't forget about that, because it seems like it happened. Probably still happening too. All right. Okay, I'll shut that one down. I think I'm done with that. Yeah, let's go to this. All right, got to talk about another cop behaving poorly. So I have an entire folder called Cops Behaving Shitty. So let's go over to that one, because there's something going on in Seattle right now, and they are trying to turn it into quite the thing. So There was an officer over in Seattle that was joking about how a citizen just crossing the sidewalk was hit by a cop car and killed. The video is horrific, but this video came out the other day and people aren't too happy about it. I'm not too happy about it. So people are pretty upset about that, and they are, the Antifers, the Seattle black-clad people are marching around about this video. So we'll see what happens with that. This is from way back in August, the beginning of August, but I just want to play this really quick because it's another example of like who the cops will go after when it's easy, and they won't go after the hardcore criminals. But this was over in Wisconsin. So this dude was just outside. Here, let me just go to the whole thing here. So this post reads: Christian teen arrested as he was reading aloud Bible passages on all ages drag queen dance party and drag storytime hour in Watertown, Wisconsin. Meanwhile, men in female costumes danced provocatively for children, and creeps in masks pretending to be Nazis brandished weapons and marched around. Okay, so let's watch this quick video here. See, and then this don't resist. It starts being a little jerk. These guys wouldn't do this to those individuals I showed you earlier breaking into that car. They'll bully around kids that they know aren't going to fight back or resist too much. But I mean, if it came down to a legit fight between these 3 kids and these 5 officers, I'd put my money on the kids, especially this kid right here. He looks like he could he looks like he's an athlete, and these other cops look like they're wads of cookie dough. So that's way back from August. So it's just another example of selective enforcement of the law. He's reading the Bible into a microphone. It's like people say, well, it was amplified and just disturbing the peace and this and that. It's like, but look at all of the things that they are allowing to be legal. And apparently they were already told that they could do that on the sidewalk. So they did not think they were breaking any sort of rules or anything. Now he's walking away in handcuffs. It's just, yeah. Well, that's the state that we live in right now. So, all right, that's enough of cops behaving poorly. I think I got a couple more things. One more thing. I got to talk about the freaking Tate brothers. I never talk about Andrew Tate and the Tate brothers because I've never looked into them too much. I don't know too much about them. I've heard them say Andrew Tate for the most part. I've heard him say some pretty based things that I agree with, but he also just seems like kind of a scumbag. He just seems super. He just annoys me. He's just super arrogant and annoying. Like I wouldn't want to hang out with the guy. He just seems annoying as shit. Probably wouldn't want to hang out with me either, though. So I'll give him that. But just listen to these guys talk a little bit. These dudes they don't seem like they're trying to help out young men become better young men. They seem like they're just trying to take advantage of young men and young women. They seem like grifters. That's all. And I just want to play a couple of videos of Tristan Tate talking and then Andrew Tate talking. So let's go to my Andrew Tate folder. Had to start one for this. All right, let's go to Tristan Tate first.
How many people are watching this podcast right now? 224 people watching. I guarantee of the 224 people watching, at least 30, 35, 40 have paid money to webcam models and jerked. I know they have. Because this industry is fucking huge.
I've never paid money for a cam girl, nor will I.
It is massive. I would have individual girls online and sometimes up to 10,000 people watching them. There's a reason I bought a Bugatti. It is huge. And I'll tell you the problem. My customers are not creepy old men. My customers are young dudes. Young dudes, a lot of them well-spoken, good jobs, handsome enough to get laid. I just think if I could give him my brain, he'd have girls in his bed. But This is the problem. And this is why all the webcam customers are young. And this is why it's become an epidemic where everybody's doing it. Because when I was, you're the same age as me. When I was 16 or 17 and I liked a girl, I used to have to go and talk to her. Hi, my name's Tristan. Risk getting shot down, risk someone telling you to get lost, risk public embarrassment. These youngsters, they grow up and they don't have to ever do that IRL. What they do is if they like a girl, they were 16, 17, what do? Drop her a Facebook message. They're 20, 21. They like a girl. What do? Message her on Instagram. They don't do any of this in IRL shit. So when I think I want to fuck 10 out of 10 blonde Eastern European chick, I'm like, okay, get in my car, put on a nice suit, go to Poland, go to nice restaurants, see if there's, let's see one at the bar, maybe approach her. So much has to be done to have sexual encounters with this level of beautiful women that these guys just cop out. They have never done it. So they think, I want to see a 10 out of 10 beautiful woman. Where am I going to find them? They're not messaging me on Facebook. They don't reply to me on Instagram. She'll get her tits out on this website. Hi, I really like you. And then the girl will hit him with, it's so good to see a young, handsome guy on here. None of my customers are young and handsome. They're all fucking young. And then this simple be like, okay, if I keep giving her money, maybe she'll meet me.
Okay, so listen how he's talking about. He's not wrong about anything he's saying either. But he's preying on the guys that he's talking about. And you just called him a simp right there. He's preying on these guys. At the same time, he's trying to sell this alpha male idea to them of this like way of living and how it's a pyramid scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. If you're trying to teach other young men to be, essentially digital pimps, like pimping out cam girls, that's not, these guys aren't trying to teach young men how to lead a fulfilling life based on a moral framework that they established on their own, based on principles rooted in something tangible, something fundamental, like the 10 Commandments, for example. They're not teaching that. They're teaching young men how to take advantage of other young men and young women. And that's not alpha. That's not, I don't know what that is. It's not teaching young men how to be good young men, though, and lead a fulfilling life. I'm not rich. I don't have a Bugatti. Like, I probably never will be. I probably will never be rich. I never want a Bugatti, first of all. Scarlett, it's not that. But I don't have any way of telling Andrew or Tristan Tate's happiness level or how fulfilled they are in life Only they know that. But I'm really happy. I'm a really happy person. I get super stressed out. I get angry, sad, all that stuff, depressed, bummed out, all that kind of stuff too. But I lead a generally fulfilling life. Stuff is crazy. Stuff is scary, but I lead a generally fulfilling life. And the kids that I coach cross country, for example, I'm not trying to teach them how to extract money out of people. I'm trying to teach those kids how to show up every day and do something hard, because that's what makes us better humans. And I think that we need more of, like, I'm not saying my philosophy or anything like that, but teaching people to go do stuff that's hard, go push and test their limits and find out what you're made of. That kind of stuff, not just acquire money, and grift. Yes, you want to learn how to acquire money. That's something I could definitely be better at. But this is not the way. As far as I can tell, this is not the way. So.
And then people like me buy new Ferraris. It's beautiful, but it's ugly too. How many people are watching this podcast right now? 224.
See, meanwhile, people like me are buying Ferraris. It's kind of sick. It's kind of sick, man. All right, let's go. Now let's listen to freaking Andrew Tate talk about his webcam business, because this is just as bad. So this is like 3 years ago.
This is a lesson for you. When you bullshit and when you lie, you don't like to make firm points, because you're giving points of attack, right? If you make a firm statement, it can be firmly debunked.
Is it true that you and your brother made money from video chat studios?
No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. I first became a multimillionaire by running a webcam studio.
So I ran a webcam studio.
I used to run a webcam business. We just start fucking hammering the webcam game. And over time, I just built up this big little empire of webcam girls. At one point, I had 4 locations, 75 girls working for me.
How long ago was your webcam business?
Yeah, so I stopped having any involvement with it. I think 8 to 9 years ago, I stopped. It was a long time ago. It was at the early stages of the internet.
When Corona came, I scaled it back up, right? Because Corona came, it was locked down. My casinos were closed, so I lost an income. I was making $500,000 a month from casinos. That closed because they're physical locations in Romania. That closed, and I thought, well, everyone's at home bored. Let me get the webcam going again. So I got 20 more girls online. We scaled that back up to $300,000 or $400,000 a month. So I got back into the game hard.
I helped the girls set up accounts.
You start with a girl. You download OnlyFans on your phone. You take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account. You verify the account on your phone, and you control the account. So you are now in charge of her OnlyFans.
The girls would sit there fully clothed.
They're sitting there with their tits out on a computer. I had naked girls sitting on the internet talking to guys.
Just laughing and doing this, the titties out. So I actually think that webcamming and girls as a whole is closer to therapy than it is porn. Truly, these men are completely miserable, and the only joy they have is logging into that website. So I don't think I did exploit that.
We got to the point where we had these guys falling in love with my models, serious, big time in love, right? Sending crazy money. And they were convinced they were going to meet the chick. And they were talking to fucking ice cold hustlers. We were taking their money, all of it. And they come and say, what kind of, all of it. We were fucking milking them dry. So they come along.
That's just evil. That's just evil shit to do your fellow man like that. You're bleeding these poor suckers dry, and at the same time, you're trying to preach this idea of alpha male, like how to be an alpha. You're double dipping. You're taking all their money, acting like you're the cam girl. That's what he's saying. He's saying that when these guys are talking to cam girls, they're actually talking to like him or his the male person that's running the cam girls, and they're just bleeding them dry. They're just hustlers. And then he has this whole other business where he's trying to teach like this alpha male thing, and he has people pay him to teach him how to be an alpha male. And it's like many of the cases, probably the same simps. He's a con artist. For as far as I can tell, this dude is a con artist. Like, sure, he was a legit kickboxer. Whatever. I wonder what he weighs. I kind of want to fight him. He would kick my ass, but I kind of want to fight him. I bet he doesn't have any ground game. I might have a chance if I took him down. I can't stand douchebags to just take advantage of vulnerable young men that are at a low point in their life.
And they said, "Oh, you're a human trafficker." I was like, "Well, I've never transported anyone. I've never kidnapped anyone. I've never restricted anyone. I've never held anyone." They said, "No, but you're a human trafficker via the lover boy method." I said, "What's that?" It's where you pretend to love them. So what, being nice? So I was nice to some girls 10 years ago? Is that my crime? Maybe I did love them. But we're not together anymore, so what? I pretended? Who said I pretended? Prove I pretended to love. And then what did I pretend to love them to achieve? I have to fuck her so she obeys me. I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I fuck them so they listen to me. So I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end. Every single Bond girl was exploited. That's exactly what I do. When I watch a Bond film and I see him basically pimp a bitch, to me that speaks to my heart. I've been there. I've done that. Anyone who's followed me long enough knows that I first made my $1 million with a webcam business. I have met beautiful women with a good personality and thought, she will make me money. I have to fuck this bitch. I don't want to have sex with her. I just need the money. I like.
That's some serious narcissistic personality disorder shit right there. That's some serious cluster B shit right there. What the hell? That's extra creepy. Most dudes, like, that's the only thing that they're trying to do is nail the girl. And yeah, he's using it as some sort of psychological manipulation technique because he feels like once he nails the girl, they'll be more attached to him, like his trophy. This dude's a creep.
I think there's a statute of limitations. Like, how long are you going to hold?
They will for the rest of your career.
I'm sure they will. And it's fine. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's just like, okay, 10 years ago, a decade.
But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls.
Go bullshitting.
Okay. Andrew Tate brothers. Yeah. They seem, there's so much out there of them speaking out of both sides of their mouth that it's just kind of obvious that these dudes are, they're a grift, but do they have a net positive for men? I don't know. That's arguable. I don't know. Maybe. Do men get something good out of whatever it is that they offer? Maybe. I don't know. I don't see what it would be. It feels like a net negative to me. I don't think he's spreading a good message. And I think he's manipulating men into looking for happiness in the wrong places or from fulfillment in the wrong places because of his worldview. Like he just said, like he doesn't, I don't think he has the ability of loving someone. I don't think he's capable of that. He's a straight up narcissist. So if he's trying to teach other men his worldview, all he's doing is teaching narcissism. I don't know. This dude's like, he might be a psychopath. I don't know. All right. Let's end with some funny stuff. So we all saw the Lauren Boebert thing. So let's see here. Okay. All right. Let's go to my my Kings folder here. Because Lauren Boebert got kicked out of a movie theater for allegedly vaping. And it does appear to show her vaping in the movie theater. And I guess she said she wasn't vaping, but there's video that she was. Let's see. we'll go to this quick video. I'm not going to zoom in on this. I'm not going to go full screen on this one because you'll get the gist of it. So here's Lauren Boebert down here. Well, here, let's go back to the beginning. She appears to have been vaping. So they kicked her out for that. But that's not sort of what made big headline news. She was wearing, let's just say, a dress that accentuates her features. And the security footage, the cameras are up on the ceiling there. So they're looking down. And well, let's just go over this here. This video pretty much sums it up. We'll just go to this one really quick. Yeah, this one pretty much sums it up. I think you guys remember what this movie is from. So here's Lauren Boebert coming out of the movie theater after she got kicked out. I believe it was Beetlejuice, but which I didn't even know it was in movie theaters. Why do they keep remaking everything? They probably ruined it. Michael Keaton is the only Beetlejuice.
Motorboat? You play the motorboat? You motorboat, son of a bitch. Motorboat? You play the motorboat?
All right, that was it. So Lauren Boebert got kicked out of Beetlejuice for some reason. That was like big giant news for everybody. But oh, this is a funny one. I'll play this one really quick. Yep. Watch that thumb there, buddy. Okay. All right. So, all right. I think that's the last of those that I want to play. But you guys, okay. You guys heard about the whole the whole Roman Empire thing? There's the Roman Empire meme. Apparently, and I think it's true. Men think about the Roman Empire a lot, and it's true. I think about the Roman Empire several times a week. I don't know if it's at least one day, but I do think about the Roman Empire often. And there's just a funny meme about it when your whole squad looking fresh as fuck. Sorry, Shelly. I know I had to drop an F-bomb there. But yeah, men, we think about the Roman Empire. There's just so much to think about. I mean, everything, the construction, just you look around today. I mean, look at our dollar. Look at the structure of our government. Look at the early construction. Like, why don't we build like that anymore? I think about the roads. I think about the roads in ancient Rome at least once a week. Just the roads at least once a week. Anyway, all right. Let's end on a nice, wholesome little video. We need to bring back barbershop quartets, folks, because listen to these young gentlemen bringing back the old school barbershop quartet. I don't think it's a quartet because there's not four of them, but you guys get the idea.
Hey yo, Sean Kingston. You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why it'll never work. You'd have me suicidal when they say it's over. Damn, all these beautiful girls, they only do you dirt. It's over. It's over. And love will last forever. Last forever. Say we're too young, get ourselves strung. We didn't care. We made it very clear, and they also said that we could last together. Last together. Very divine, one of a kind. My mind, oh Lord, it's driving me crazy. Damn, all these beautiful girls, they only want to do you dirt. They'd have you suicidal. Say it's over, it's over.
I like it when dudes do awesome stuff. You guys probably thought that was cheesy, but I like it. I liked it a lot. We need nice, wholesome stuff like that every now and then, especially to end the show. I like I like nerdy, wholesome, talented dudes that are just doing things for the sake of joy, and that's what they were doing there. And they were very good too. They had very good voices, and as such, you guys might enjoy that. So let me go and check the chat really quick before we end for the evening. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got that I wanted to share with you guys. All right, that is all of it. Let's see who we got over here in the chat. Oh, quite a few more people. Oh, I got my sister there. Hey, Danny, what's going on? Pete Grabber, clandestine Chinese police agents that infiltrate into the U.S. What, you talking about like the SFPD? Maybe, because, yeah, they can hire anybody now. Northside, make your level. You sent me. Northside, send me that on DM me that link. I've been looking at all sorts of stuff for this Marlin. I need to get a top rail for it. I want to change the sights. There's all sorts of stuff I want to do to it, but I don't know. Lodestorm, he knows that most girls feel sex is intimate and they use it to build an empire. Oh, yeah. So yeah, he is using it as like a control method for sure. It's because we're in an empire in decline that we think about the Roman Empire. Maybe, but I mean, I think a lot about the construction of the Roman Empire. I think a lot about that and just how well thought out a lot of things were. All right. Well, I think that is it, everybody. But you know how we do it. We got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. And let's see what we have tonight. Let's just open up to a random one. I already read it and it made me laugh, but I'm not going to read that one. All right. Well, let's see what we got tonight. Okay. Chuck Norris was the fourth wise man. He brought baby Jesus the gift of beard. Jesus wore it proudly to his dying day. The other wise men, jealous of Chuck, used their... I don't like this one. It's blasphemous. I'm cutting it off mid-joke. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to tell that one. You guys are probably mad at me, but I'm not going to do it. All right. Chuck Norris does not have normal male nipples. He has a Dodge Ram hood ornament on each pec, and both Rams blow smoke out of their noses each and every time he pumps just Chrissy Brinkley. All right, folks. On that note, stay CaliBased.